Okay, so thanks for the invite, team, this evening. I'm going to talk about something that is gaining a little bit of buzz in the world of dynamics, and we've kind of nicknamed it the digital assistant platform. But we're talking about a product called ClickLearn. Has anybody heard of ClickLearn? Who has heard? So there's a few people here. So there's a few people. This will be the first one through. So I'm going to talk about the product and what we've done with it. We are a partner. We're based on the South Coast. Some of you may know us because the products, the IntelliCTI, Paribus products that we deliver, but we also implement CRM as well. The catalyst for us really getting involved with ClickLearn was that we had one of our customers that was taking their UK-based implementation and were expanding it to a global user base of around 900 users. And clearly the traditional methods of training and trying to get that out there timely was just going to be, not cost effective. They did look at WalkMe. Anybody heard of WalkMe? Which is probably the most well-known kind of solution in this kind of environment. It's kind of e-learning, digital assistant type stuff, but it is very expensive, and they had watering eyes when they were given the quote. And we had seen this product at a couple of the user group events as it happened, and it became the catalyst for us to adopt this product. In adopting it, we had a number of reasons to do that, not just that customer, which I'll go on to. Has anybody seen the Simon Sinek videos and TED Talks about the why? Yes? Does everybody adopt the why? Okay, so it's a real key thing. I'm a big why person. If somebody says we're going to do this, my first question is why. If a customer says I want to do this, the first question is why. So this is our why for ClickLearn, okay? Because we really believe, and we've come across this many times, I'm sure whoever's tried to roll out CRM, if you don't get that user base educated, if you don't get them supported, your user adoption capability drops dramatically. Yes, but how do you get that training? How do you keep it fresh? How do you deliver 24/7 assistance to your users cost effectively? And that's one of the things that that drove us down this path, really, is to be able to provide that capability cost effectively to the users and improve that whole user adoption piece. However, there are a number of, when we started looking at this product, there are a number of areas where it can really help. And some of these are not necessarily immediately obvious. Some of them have come about because our split kind of personality of being both a CRM implementer and a product development sort of house as well. So we've looked at it from all these aspects, from how you first sort of train somebody up. UAT, how do you get people that may be, out of country that are going to be part of the UAT team familiar with what you're delivering, quickly and effectively. There is an element of this product where you can replay some of the stuff, and you can use it as part of, not solely, but part of your system testing, for example. And then you get onto the 24/7 user assistance, providing your users assistance specific to their implementation. This is not just generic help now. This is specific to the processes and the customizations that you have either implemented as a partner or as a customer. And there may be levels of this assistance, because there may be stuff that you want to make sure that your power users, admin people are familiar with, that you don't want your general users to have access to. Okay, so how can we segment that up? You may still want to do traditional classroom training, so you've got to build materials for that classroom training. Yes, you may still want to do that PowerPoint type stuff. How do you do that cost effectively? And then ultimately, so we have now, with our latest releases of our product, adopted ClickLearn as our product documentation approach. We've worked with a couple of partners who are doing vertical solutions to do the same. So they're actually using it now as product documentation, and just using the ClickLearn platform to actually make that content, kind of publishable. So does that start to give you some ideas of the breadth of the capability that this thing is that we're going to talk about? Yeah? Okay. Has everybody got a recognised need amongst all this list of stuff here? Okay. So I'm going to dive straight in and show you some examples here. These characters I'm using are the characters that are available as digital assistants, and you'll see where that kicks into play. So there's some weird and wacky ones available. So let's dive in. So this is a screen that will become familiar to those that are moving away from the classic web, and for those that are already on the new UI, you'll be very familiar with this. So there's a couple of ways that we can provide the platform through integration with the system. The first simple one is to replace the standard help with customized help. And we can build, let's see, just take an example. We can create sections that will take us through to a level of information and give us effectively a very context sensitive, step-by-step documented approach to doing this thing, whatever this thing is, but this thing in context to your specific application, to your customizations, because of the way the content has been created. Okay? So we can do this and create these bite-sized chunks of assistance to your users. And one of the other standard features which can be very beneficial is that at the end of each section there is a feedback capability. Now that feedback could be on the content you provided, but it equally could be on the process itself. So if you need to solicit how well your customizations, your configurations are doing, this could be a very good, effective way of actually collating exactly where somebody thinks that something could be improved or bettered, sort of thing. However, as part of the process of creating the content, whatever you've captured is published in a number of formats. Okay, this is the standard formats that is produced. So we have this blow-by-blow account here. That blow-by-blow account can be exported as a PDF, as a Word document, or as a PowerPoint. So coming back to the classroom training perspective, if you create all this content through this mechanism, you can simply export the slide deck to provide you the classroom training content that you need, as an example. Yes? If people like to work from Word documents or whatever, then they can download and just have that by the side and go through the steps. But up here we've got these videos. So I don't know if have we got sound? I think I heard something then.
When you have a large number of records in your system, it is useful to be able to navigate.
So, as we've gone through capturing the screens, etc., as we've gone through maybe enriching that captured content with background, additional information, the why of this process, yes, the text is edited in, and then that is automatically narrated. We have not narrated these videos, okay? The system, the platform provides the narration for you. And you can choose, I think there's something like 100 different voices, female, American, Australian, whatever is your, some are better than others, I have to say, but they're all pretty good. They all sound pretty natural. But the point is you get a consistent delivery. Yes? In that narration, in that video delivery. You also get the ability to go back into this. Back too far. You have try me and you have test me. So these are basically now then guiding the user through the steps. Yes, one shows you, the next kind of says, okay, we'll go here, do this, okay? The test me says, I want you to add this without the guidance, and then it says, have I got it correctly, okay? So all of this content is created in one process of generation, okay? And I have a quick video that will show you how the recording process is done in a second, all right? So this is the kind of standard layout of the content. When you publish the content that you create and pull together and structure, it comes out as what ClickLearn terms a portal, and you can surface these portals in various different ways. Okay, the default is to the ClickLearn Azure platform. You can publish it to SharePoint. You can publish it, as we've done for our web content, for example. We published it to our standard web CDN. Okay, for the examples that we're posting through the internet. Okay, so everybody happy with the general premise so far? Okay, good. Right. What you also have within Dynamics 365 specifically is what they call the digital assistant. Okay, this content is created at the same time as that other content that I showed through the portal, but it now becomes sort of context sensitive within the specific area. You can read through it, but you can also say, okay, show me, walk me through this process as regards in the context of the application. There's some background, and now it's saying start by selecting, okay, select sales, click on sales, click on accounts. Get the picture? It's helping me, it's guiding me through the process. So if there's something I've never done, if there's something I've forgotten, if you're doing training and you want people to take, you can use the digital assistant, which is created at the same time. There's not another process to create this, and surface this up and guide people through the application. Yeah? So what happens then if, as I've alluded to, you want to sort of surface up different levels of help at different points? So what I can quickly do here is switch to, and you're familiar with sitemaps and user permissions and all that good stuff, yes? So, you know, kind of understanding that we can highlight a training area and surface other portals effectively. All of these areas here are separate portals that have been created for specific purposes. So, you know, onboard training is a portal in its own right, and the content is therefore relevant to that particular context. Yep. If it's an admin level, okay, then obviously you only provide that menu item by permissions through your admin people or the people that are super users, power users, that kind of thing. Okay? Are we excited yet? Yeah. For the camera, Come on. Goodness me. Good stuff. Okay. So the ability to deliver context appropriate content that is specific to your applications is the key driver here. If you consider, how many people have done documentation? How much time, effort, tedium have you spent on creating documentation? Okay, and what happens when the system changes? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let me show you a quick, it is a pretty quick video, but I was conscious of time here. Let me show you a quick run through of capturing a process. So you can see here for a start there are multiple different connectors depending on which ones you need. And what happens once you've selected the connector, you'll see that the recorder part recognizes where you are hovering, where you are clicking on, etc. And each of these steps is being recorded. And as you go through, you can capture the data that's been entered, etc. And build a very kind of robust and detailed set of material. When we've gone through the particular step step of process that we want to do, we will stop the recording, and we'll be able to save that element as a discrete part of the overall content. So we'll stop and we'll save. We can name that particular element appropriately, and after having saved it, it will then get put into our overall library of content. Okay, so here we've created a lot of those recordings, and then what you do is you then say, okay, I'm creating, if you remember the portals, we had the high level broken down by shelves, as they call it, and then within the shelf you have books. That's the terminology that ClickLearn uses, and each of these is basically a section within a book, and then you kind of group them up into appropriate sort of groupings and structure ultimately. So that you can see there the process was very quick. I have another video, but I'm conscious of time here, about editing. The point is that each of those clicks is a step. All right. If you change your application, if things move around a bit, you only have to edit the steps. You can delete steps, you can insert steps, or if you really want to, you can record the whole thing again. But then you put that back into your book, into your shelf, hit the publish button, and your portal is now up to date with the latest updates of your application. You can duplicate content. So if you took the context of an onboarding portal to a user assistance portal, a lot of that content might be very similar. Okay, don't build the whole thing. Look at what's common, replicate it, and put it into the appropriate books and shelves relevant to those portals that you're creating. Okay, so it means that you can create very appropriate support documentation for your customers quickly and efficiently, and the maintenance is not a major pain. Trying to be politically correct here. Who's created videos for training and stuff like that? Again, great. The first thing is a great accomplishment when you've got it there, fantastic, and then the system changes, and then how much time and effort is it to go back and try and recreate those videos and that kind of stuff. This is really, really quick and simple. So for the customers that we've started to roll this out to, we quote for whatever work, whatever mods and stuff that they have, and we just add in an element now of ClickLearn content update, and it is generally hours, it's not days and weeks anymore kind of stuff, because we are only amending the sections that have been affected by the customizations or whatever it is. We found it a major step forward in terms of being able to provide the thing that often gets forgotten or gets cut out of a budget because it's too time consuming, too expensive to really do it in the old traditional way, whether that's face to face or whether it's the screenshotting and then putting it into a Word document type process that we've all been through, I'm sure. So has that whetted your appetite? It's not limited to Dynamics 365, this capability. In fact, it's not limited to Dynamics. In fact, it's not limited to Microsoft. If you have almost any application, it can record those steps. It may not be able to embed the digital assistant because that is quite specific to Dynamics 365 at the moment. It is coming to Business Central. That's in the roadmap. But you can see here we've got other applications that we've done content for, and please don't hold it against me. But we've also done some content for one of our legacy solutions, which is Infor CRM ex Sales Logics, but just to prove the point. You'll also notice that there's translation examples here as well. It supports something like 45 languages. And again, that is a create your content, hit the button to translate into German, and it goes away and does it. All right. Now, we would recommend that you have a native speaker just do a check and balance, because automatic translation, as we do Google Translate, sometimes is a bit interesting. But the point is, it will take the donkey work out of that exercise. Okay, it will do the 80-20 rule at least in terms of that translating your content you've recorded into another language, for example. All right. As I say, we've done it for one of our own products just to sort of prove that it can work outside of the Dynamics world. Okay, so we've got examples for all these teams and Power BI and stuff that are going to be added to our examples pages. We've just dabbled around with some QuickBooks and we'll be adding other non-Microsoft applications into our examples in due course. But because this, if your customers may take it on for Dynamics, maybe that's the first point, but the power of this can go outside, so it could be of great value beyond the Dynamics world. So if you want to go to that examples page, feel free to take the QR code there, or just sort of Google QGate Click Learn examples. Okay, if you want to have a look at those. If you want to take it a step further, we're very happy for you to embed the Dynamics 365 example into maybe one of your kind of UAT systems or one of your development systems, just to see what it looks like. Okay, so we have this article here which takes you step by step through the process. There is a small solution that you have to install, so the download is available from this site as well. So feel free to explore this and take it into your own customer, your own users, and see what they think about the look and feel. There's some just sort of generic information in there that we've provided as a sort of sample. Okay, is that good? Okay. So what can we do to help? We started off as a Click Learn service provider, which means that we can provide as many portals as we like to whoever we like through our own terms. So we're actually looking to offer this as a service, so Click Learn as a service. And we're offering to do that partly to help customers appreciate the benefits of it without a CapEx kind of outlay. All right. We can resell. We are the first authorized partner for Click Learn in the UK. So we can resell if that's the route you want to go. But we have supporting services as well around the authoring. So one of the things that I was very keen to do when we took this on was to do it properly. So we've hired somebody who is of an adult training background, who is used to developing courses, who is used to developing training and understands how to best construct this sort of thing. Also fortunately had a reasonable amount of IT background with him as well. So we are quite well placed to deliver this very effectively. We do offer some authoring services in package days. You can get an awful lot done in 5 days because of the way this product is constructed. I'm not expecting you to read all of this here and now, but it's just really to give you a view of this is not just about technology, as with Dynamics. It's not just about the technology. It's how do you implement it, how do you plan for it, how do you structure it. The same thing in our view applies to this product. Okay, to get the most out of it, make it most effective for your users, you have to think and you have to plan, structure, and set this out properly. And our kind of authoring process goes through these sort of steps to make sure that is the case. Things like, simple things like branding and style and stuff are also part of the thing to make sure that it's in keeping with whatever those branding guidelines are within your organisations, for example. And also we'll offer training services. So even if you want to take this on yourself, I have to say Click Learn themselves are very good from their support perspective. We've had good response with them, but they're very much product focused, clearly. We're very much more solution focused. So hence, best practices, how to design, how to lay out, how to structure, how to store, how to name, all that kind of stuff would be part of the process that we'd go through with you if that's of interest. If you're interested in the Click Learn as a service, that gives you an idea of where we're kind of positioning this. You can ultimately have as much content as you like. You can have as many portals as you like. It's for this, okay? If you want ongoing support from us in terms of maintenance updates of content, etc., then we can do that by managed service, and obviously the authoring services to get you kicked off if that helps as well. So that's kind of our key driver here. The thing with the service, there is a minimum of 6 months commitment on the SaaS. We haven't made it 12 months specifically because if you do think you really want to go for it, we don't want you to wait 12 months before you move on to maybe kind of purchasing a product or doing it yourself. So we're trying to be kind of reasonable here in terms of making that effective for you. So Andrew, how am I doing on time?
Brilliant.
Okay, I'm not quite there yet, but getting close. Questions? Has that given you a whistle-stop tour of this and sort of spark some ideas and thoughts for you? Yeah? Sure.
Just in terms of the e-learning stuff that uses being tracked, doing completing the modules, you use kind of ad hoc training and a kind of course of onboarding.
Yep.
Can you track user progress and see how they've done? You had an element where you could test whether they could do it.
Yeah.
If there's like refresher
Okay.
activities.
So at the moment, this is not an LMS, okay, learning management system, right? This is a content creation and publishing tool. At the moment, there is no direct correlation in terms of who's done what. There is some overall stats. We are now working with a particular LMS provider in terms of embedding the two together, because it can be delivered there's a format specific to LMSs that it supports. So we're looking to work on that. But there is in the roadmap some lightweight LMS type capabilities to be able to track the user, their completion and that kind of stuff. But it's not intended to go the full LMS route. So we're coming at it from two angles basically in due course. So what we have done, we've used Forms Pro. So we've embedded Forms Pro as part of some of this so that you can do that level of kind of testing after running through a course or running through a module and that sort of stuff.
I guess the use case in my head is if people are getting stuff wrong regularly,
Yeah.
or something like that, you can push content out. So.
Yes, I mean, I think that's partly where the feedback comes in and partly where, as I say, there is some usage stats in terms of where people are going regularly, but they are generic at the moment. They're not sort of by named user and that sort of thing. So it'll give you an indication, but not down to specific users at this stage. But it is on the roadmap to go further that way. Any other questions? Sure.
So you were saying at the end, so let's say you've got loads of the processes are on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Drop there.
Yeah.
The recording, does it record which fields you want?
Yeah, so basically it interrogates the metadata behind the forms, etc. So it knows that that field is your account name field, etc., etc. If you've done minimal, if you've done an amount of changes, it will be able to track that down and recreate it based on what it's looking for in terms of metadata. Obviously, if going from classic web to new UI, speak to James at the end. James, my colleague at the end there. If we can help, if you'd like to do that, then feel free. We're happy to spend a couple of hours and get something in place for you.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.